right. No, that I bring the April 5th Hamilton County Council meeting to order. Madam Moderator, can I have a roll call?
Brad Beaver.
Here.
Mark Hall.
Present.
Amy Moss-Lamany.
Present.
Ken Alexander.
Present.
Sue Mackey.
Present.
Tim Griffin.
Present.
Steve Nation.
Present.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Okay, and with that, Amy, you're signed up to lead us in the invocation and pledge tonight.
You would all bow your heads and pray in your own way. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 1st, 2023 meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Madam Moderator, will we have any public comments tonight? Okay, seeing none. All right. Moving on. For the committee and officer reports, to start off with the president's report saying I've met with the members of the Farm Bureau and I'm having a scheduled meeting with Purdue Extension to discuss the fairgrounds. In addition, there's multiple other projects that we're working on and with the major projects and the work session we just had that I'll be taking on that as well. Vice President, do you have anything?
I do not, sir.
Highway, Mark, unless you want me, I'll go ahead and read.
Oh, no, go right ahead.
Okay. We met and we were provided with an updated project sheet, which has been passed out. That I think that meets the needs of what council had requested with some additional money. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. And we were also notified of an award of $7,248,000 of grants, which was an 80-20 grant for Dunbar Road, which was listed on the project sheet, which you'll see in the new update. So with that, Highway, we'll have other items that are on the agenda, and we'll discuss them at that time. Finance.
We've had 2 finance meetings since the last time we met. You've got one in paper, one came by email, the last one by email, so I'll let you peruse those or ask questions as you have. Basically, it was a discussion of how we were going to handle the financing on 146 in Aliceville and the next intersection after that. So if you review the minutes, you'll see what we've worked out. We can do it. One's going to get patched back a little bit. But there are a couple other items that I want to talk to you as a member of the Finance Committee this evening. Number one, I'm going to pass these out. You don't have to decide this evening, but these are budget instructions. Look at these budget instructions and by next month, be prepared to vote on budget instructions. Number 2, the Finance Committee, if you look through the meetings, as a group has agreed that we would recommend moving up one step in the WIS study. Okay? Review those minutes. It's a $5 million number, but we felt like it's what we had to do to stay competitive in the marketplace as far as raises. And one other question that we actually need to answer tonight is, are we going to allow department heads to ask for additional people in the next budget hearings? Some years we just told them outright, don't ask for people. The last few years you say you can make a request. You may not get it, but you can make a request. So we need to decide that this evening. Anybody got a thought? Can you hear me, Ken?
That wasn't very nice.
No, it wasn't.
At least I haven't gotten what my brothers call me, which is Kenneth Van Gogh. But that's,
Generally thinking, I don't have any problem with them asking.
I don't either. As long as they have a business plan that supports why they need it.
Asking is one thing, getting is another,
Yeah.
and I get more upset with them when we ask for people mid-year. you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
they
you're
should
gonna
have.
ask for people,
I think go ahead and ask
make-
for them,
Make
budget
the
hearings, then you make
justification
it.
at budget
Yes,
hearing
agreed.
and get a yes or no then.
I agree.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, if they don't ask, then, there's no way they're gonna get it or grow, so I
And
think
is
they
this
need
the,
to.
is this the time that we're making that decision, or is it?
Yeah, the budget instructions don't need the final decision until next month, but the yes or no on letting them ask for new people, they kind of.
Don, do you want to vote on that?
Yes.
Yeah, need a motion?
No, we don't need a
Distraction.
motion.
Just a general consensus.
I think general consensus is yes, that
They
they
can
can ask.
Okay,
Thank you. That way I can send out something to the department heads so
They
they
can
can
start
start their
working on it.
footwork.
Okay.
all right, and one other thing I have, unless people have particular questions on the finance committee meeting, then they're extensive, if you read through them, it's come to my attention, all of us is our attention, that the sewer septic plant for the campground, which was previously okayed and was going to be paid for out of ARPA money, is $1 million over budget. So Chris Stice has called, I think several, I told him to call everybody, that they need $1 million to complete this project. So I thought about it for a minute, I said, well, we're probably gonna do that, let me see if we can use ARPA money. So I went back and checked. The ARPA money's all been earmarked, but we earmarked two sconces of money, $2.5 million apiece for affordable housing. One has been appropriated, one is not. One is still sitting on our agenda. My suggestion to the council, and if we get approval here, then we'll call for an ARPA meeting, is that we would untable it, use $1 million of the affordable housing money, $1 million towards this sewer project that will qualify because it is already being funded with ARPA money. And we would also, in addition to that, make a resolution that if the affordable housing group comes up with a project before the time limit runs out, we will produce that $1 million back to make that fund whole. The reason I say that is that by checking, and Todd's here, he can go in more detail, the clock's ticking on the ARPA money. You gotta have it.
I want to interject, because
Yeah,
we
go
did
ahead.
talk about this earlier in our pre-council meeting. So there was discussion over, I'm in agreement with you that it should be ARPA, but ultimately.
Can we
you
discuss this as part of the table?
Yes, can we move on to the,
Well, I just want to lay out the whole
Well, we're not
picture,
gonna
because not only would we have to approve
Yeah.
it here, and that's why I added that
Yeah.
language about a resolution.
yeah,
Then we have to have an ARPA meeting. Now, the truth of the matter is, when we get to ARPA, there's 3 councilors and 3 commissioners. I don't know what their feeling is. They may be happy to do it. They may say, oh, no, we got to keep that money. But to me, the clock's ticking on ARPA money. You got to be under contract by 24 and completed by 26. As of today, they haven't spent a dime of that $5 million. Not the first 2.5, not any. Now, there may be a project out there that's bubbling.
Yeah.
let's,
We could use this money for a project that's ready to go.
It's
And if
sitting
they
there.
get one, we'll put the money
Yeah.
back.
yep.
Okay, well, with that, is there anything else from finance?
Nope.
Okay, great. Miscellaneous, or I'm sorry, personnel.
We met, and we'll be discussing some of that later on in the meeting.
Okay, great. Anyone have any miscellaneous? Seeing none, we'll go to item 8, table business.
Mr. President, motion to untable Fund 8950 Affordable Housing in the amount of $2.5 million for discussion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And so this goes back into the discussion as to why. So I'm in agreement that I believe the $2.5 million should go back to ARPA completely, not segmenting out 1.5. And only because we don't have a plan, and we already have 2.5 appropriated, right? That has been appropriated, and there's been nothing spent. I think we got a report that as of now. And so if you send out that 2.5, ARPA then can make the decision. They can leave the 1.5, right, for when affordable housing's ready, then we can appropriate it as such, right, from ARPA dollars. But the $1 million should cover then the White River Campground. That's my opinion.
It's a project that was already funded out of that.
Yeah.
It was a ARPA project. And so this would keep it within the revenue and funds that was supporting it before. I'm in agreement as well. It's money that's there to be used. And and better than spending our own cash right now. So when we have an idea of what affordable housing can be in the future, I'm sure we're going to be, I know I will be supportive of filling that gap when that comes up for.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll jump
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
same
well-
bandwagon, but I went out and spent a couple hours out at the campground with the team from Parks, and we are precariously close to a real issue. If that sewage spills into White River, we've got a substantial problem. So something has to be done.
I'm in agreement that we need to fix the campgrounds, we need to get that done. I'm okay with using the ARPA funds, however, I like the idea of a resolution to make the housing whole to 2.5 million. I can't speak to the details, but I know there's teams of people working, and it's not a quick process, but that money will be well spent, and if it's not, we can easily spend that quickly, and actually it is, I'm not worried about the time ticking on that part of it, but we can, I'm for the resolution and using
I'm
the
comfortable
ARPA.
with that too.
Yeah.
So it's,
I do have one question. Connor, do we have, on the ARPA dollars, do we have a resolution in place for reimbursement for projects that run through ARPA?
you can't be reimbursed.
Well, no, but it would reimburse the fund.
You can't.
Why?
We talked about this earlier, that
I don't know if we have an ordinance in place, it's a reimbursement ordinance that we could.
Sorry, talk about if you take this 2.5 that the ARPA committee allocated for the affordable housing, move it back to this ARPA general. I don't believe we have a resolution or ordinance that.
Let me clarify. If the issue is as dire as what Councilman Hall had mentioned, that we need to get this fixed and we want to use our own cash to go do that, is there a resolution in place that can allow ARPA to refund our cash that we're putting into a project? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you can't. We got that earlier.
There is not at this time, no.
There's not one? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can you do that? That was my thing. I didn't think that we could reimburse,
You
we
would be able
could
to if it
reimburse the
was,
ARPA.
yeah, you would be able to if it's not, it can't be used for reimbursement for bond payments or a judgment against the county. You could probably do it under the government service part of it, but I think we've already allocated or have accounted for that. Robin, is that correct? The $10 million for the government services where we are free to spend the ARPA for any government services?
I checked with Todd, we haven't hit that $10
Yeah, we
million.
haven't
We haven't hit that, but I think what he's
If they would
asking,
use cash first,
he's
yeah.
asking if we use ARPA dollars, no, if we use another fund for the million, he's asking, can we take those ARPA dollars to refund that money? And I didn't think we could.
Well, if we don't have an ordinance in place, then I don't think we could do it
Yeah,
today.
I don't
Well, I
think,
mean,
yeah.
even if we did, it's federal dollars, and I didn't think we could.
Unless you use that money that you took out of that current fund and use ARPA to pay for another ARPA committed project or service or something that fund would have been used for originally, but I don't know what fund it is. There's no ordinance.
Well, so there's no ordinance, so I don't think this is even.
Could an ARPA committee meeting just be called to have that discussion next week, right? To then make sure that it's then on the
Thank you.
agenda for, if you guys approve ARPA
We're
dollars.
not planning on having it, so the meeting will be the meeting. I need to hear from Steve Nation, because as it sits right now, me and Sue and Steve are now, there's no more rotating members, we're the permanent members, isn't that correct? Steve, you got a feeling on this?
I agreed with what Sue said, and I think what Amy said. I'm perfectly okay in going ahead and approving it, and especially if it's as bad as Mark says, yeah, let's go ahead and approve it. But I would like the commitment then, along with that we will back that up with $1 million from
Yeah.
general if we have to do for housing.
I appreciate that, because I didn't want to get to an ARPA meeting and not have all of the counselors on board. I will say this, to Ken's question, later on in our meeting, I think Parks is on here asking for the money.
90, yeah.
And if we're gonna do this, I don't think we can, we're gonna have to table that motion, because if we're gonna use ARPA money, We can't use general fund, we can't
Right.
even use their fund, we
Right.
can't use rainy day.
Right.
It has to be,
Does anyone
Has
know
to be-
when that money is needed?
I thought it was June or July that was what the parks information was
What?
sent. The $1 million, as
Yeah.
far as when he was needing it. So could we get it to a place where it was tabled for this month, and then
Yeah.
in May we approve it?
yes, because,
Once it goes through ARPA,
Yes.
if it approves through ARPA.
so we can get to ARPA, get the blessing from the three commissioners and be back here. But at that point, we're ready to make an ARPA appropriation, aren't we, Robin? Once it's through the ARPA committee?
Yes, it's just a
Mhm.
transfer.
It's just a transfer.
Okay, but we can't do it if we use any other funds, we can't use the ARPA funds. That's
No,
what Connor was just telling
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
there's no way to
Yeah,
take
you
it out of
can't.
the general fund and
No.
then replace general
No.
fund money with ARPA money.
Right.
Unless you're gonna use those general fund dollars for a permitted ARPA, project or use or something.
Well, it is, this.
No. He's saying a different project.
A different project.
That $1 million, you're gonna use it for something else that would be permitted under ARPA, then you could.
Which would be affordable housing.
Effectively, you'd come up with a new project that we would normally be paying cash with, and we would just use ARPA to go for with that.
But wouldn't that be that $1 million that we're even talking about if they're not whole? Like, wouldn't that be the same?
Yes, it would. I think, do we have consensus that, I think that we're gonna go back, since we don't need it till June or July, and we can go through the process in May? We have consensus
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I just don't want to make a wrong move and not be able to recoup the money. And we'll call the commissioners next week and try to set up a one-item ARPA meeting, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And try to get that, and then we'll be ready to go in May.
Amy, would you like to
So-
revise your motion to well, you want to table it, so do we have a motion?
No, yeah, so this would be, we have the motion on the untable with the discussion, and so it should last for.
One more thing I throw on, they want to get going now. They're ready to move now. Every day we wait. I don't think they want to wait till June or July.
I don't think so either, but the truth of the matter is, they've already, I don't even remember what the original dollar amount was, but I don't know if they can't,
Can
if
we,
they can't move with the original dollar amount because the project came in over budget, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Can you let the bids if you don't have enough money?
I think they've got a contractor ready to go. They just want the funding and they'll start.
Well,
Can we not-
here's what we can do in that
could we
case.
approve
We
pending
can appro-
ARPA?
I think on our agenda, they've got three sources of funding, and one of them is the county parks department's own budget.
That's those are just resolutions. We didn't have time to advertise that, so
Yes,
no
there's no-
money's moving.
there's no funding, there's no money right now
okay.
anyway, so it
It's
doesn't
good.
matter.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
May.
move it,
Okay,
yeah.
so then
Good
the
enough.
motion on the table then is to
Thank you, Dawn.
untable, we've discussed it, and so you would need a motion then to untable, which we
You mean
will.
you need a vote?
Yeah, we need a vote, sorry.
Is there a motion to vote on?
We have to vote on the motion to
Motion to
untable.
untable.
Oh, sorry. Madam Auditor, can I have a roll call?
Brad Beaver,
Yes.
who's next? Mark Hall,
Yes.
Amy Masalami,
Yes.
Ken Alexander.
Yes.
Sue Mackey.
Yes.
Tim Griffin,
Yes.
Steve Nation.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you need them.
All right, do I have a motion to act on the affordable housing?
So moved.
Second?
No,
What is your motion?
yeah, we don't.
The motion,
Is-
unlike Amy, I'm not wanting to, I'm wanting to, send back $1 million, not the 2.5.
So your motion, when I say act, your motion
Revise.
is to revise the $2.5 million? I'm trying to understand what your motion is.
Yeah, I didn't,
Yes.
What?
okay, because I was gonna make.
Unappropriate 1 million of the 2.5.
And send back to the ARPA committee?
Yes, send back to the ARPA committee.
It's not been appropriated.
I think
To
it has been
change the-
It
appropriated.
has not been appropriated,
That's why it's saying table.
right. We haven't appropriated.
There was a question whether it's been appropriated.
Madam
or
Auditor?
The first two and a half
not
has.
transferred.
Well, I guess they.
Change the
So the
amount to
motion is to
1.
send $1 million of that appropriation, or whether it's been appropriated or not, back to the ARPA
okay.
committee for reappropriation.
And then, so then you want to remain 1.5 tabled?
Yes.
Is that the motion? Can that be the motion? Sounds like it
Steve,
could
is that what
be.
you're, with that clarification, are you gonna second that?
It's like,
Generally, it's asking permission to spend the 1 million of the 2.5 on.
Brad, what you're asking is for this body to send back to the ARPA committee
$1 million.
to ask whether or not they will make the resolution back to us.
Yeah,
I'll second that.
thank you.
Did you want to include then, though, in that motion that the intent would be to make whole the $1 million?
Yes,
At a later
at the
date.
time, I'm making the promise to my other counselors and to the commissioners when I talk to them, that at the time we make that $1 million appropriation, we will make a resolution to replace that $1 million if and when
Yeah.
a project for that money comes up.
As amended, I will second.
Perfect.
Madam Auditor, does that make sense to you?
No,
Would you like us to, clarify it?
no, we'll figure it out. It's on tape.
Okay, so, the motion is on the table with a second,
No, it's already on the table, so now it's just the motion
we'll
to
get to,
approve.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
we haven't, but he'll just, that's what he.
Yeah,
wants.
that's done, so now you're just voting.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And with that, I'm going to quit talking
I don't believe that. Okay,
for a moment.
all right, I can't wait to read that one back in the minutes. All right, next item, do I have a motion for approval of vendor claims?
So moved.
second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next item, 9D, we have 3 parcels, resolution CC 04052023-1, a resolution concerning the purchase of real estate for the small structures 23023 projects.
So moved.
Second.
All right, this is for 3 parcels for the highway projects, for our highway project.
196th Street
Yep.
Bridge.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next item, resolution CC 04052023-2, resolution concerning the purchase of real estate for the Hamilton County Regional Utility District projects.
So moved.
Second.
All right, this is also 3 parcels that are affected by that project. Do I have any other discussion?
You need a motion, sorry, I missed
There will be
it.
no
We got
motion
it.
second.
Yeah, okay. No
Any other discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. All right, next item is an interlocal agreement concerning a one-time distribution of public safety income tax proceeds.
So moved.
Second.
All right, this is, I think, was shared at the joint meeting. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, I just wanna hold forth that we were hoping, the county is hoping for a new agreement between the entities that sit on the 911 board. Now, we're in good faith, since we're the appropriating body, we're gonna hand out some cash, but we still haven't got that agreement.
You're not handing out any.
Yeah, there's no
cash
money
either
yet.
Because it's not appropriated.
There's no appropriation, this is just the interlocal. That
Is
was,
The interlocal agreement on a one-time, so we're gonna agree to hand out the money and then hand out the money later?
they'll come back and ask for it when they,
Whenever somebody asks for it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there won't be any monies handed out until the auditor has signed agreements by all the entities that are getting cash.
Okay, well, we're safe then, aren't we?
Noblesville reached out to me, they want to make sure that we understand that this is a one-time agreement, that they may want to change what they're asking for in the future. They don't want to lock into something forever.
Well, it says one time on it, so I hope that's clear for
Well,
me.
that's the interlocal agreement, that's not the contract that they signed. So they want to make sure we understand as a body that they're looking for something different down the road.
Okay.
So are we.
Yep.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Item E, White River Campground Sewer Project Funding.
So this should be
Options.
motion to table, correct?
Motion to table.
Do I have a second?
You're tabling a resolution.
Okay,
No, that,
So let's take no we don't need to take
We don't
action.
need to take
Okay.
action.
We don't need to take
Okay,
action.
it could just come back with it
Yeah.
Oh, it
next
says
month on the right
resolution.
way,
Advertise
perfect.
it, then we
Okay.
can do that.
Thank you.
Okay. So do you recant your second
No,
motion?
we just basically are taking no action.
Well, I know, but we already had one on the floor, didn't we?
I remove it.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's all I was asking. All right, thank you. Now to someone that's really good by following the rules. We have item F, the pretrial services, CJ Miller. Come forward. I think we're handing out plenty of information on this.
Hello, everyone. You received a memo from me last week with an update there in paper as well as via email earlier today. I do know that it's preferred to ask for additional personnel during budget hearings. However, the need for our community as well as for the courts has changed since January 1st of this year. So I need to bring it to you now based on that. You will see the estimated ask based on some conversations with the auditor at this time would be for funds in the amount of $435,149 that would cover salary and benefits, one full-time support staff person, as well as 3 full-time screening analysts who are pretrial officers. The probation department has helped us out the last 6 years with sharing a full-time support staff person that they've had to help offset with pretrial what we needed support staff for, as we've not had that position. That person last Wednesday resigned, gave a 2 weeks notice. So we will not be able to get any help from probation anytime soon. They're obviously going to be down with person as well. As well as that's the only person on their staff that has helped with pretrial, so they know what we need and what we do. So that is a loss there. You did give us permission in our budget year 2021 to hire a part-time support staff person. The previous director did not fill that position in 2021 or 2022, so the money that was budgeted both those years was not spent. I came in and did work with Human Resources and got a job description together. In October, posted that. We did some interviews in December. I hired someone that started in January. She was here for about 7 weeks, but didn't work out, and she decided to resign. So we're without that part-time person as well. I was unable to get a lot of response on that part-time posting. I did actually reach out to 6 different people that applied to see about interviews. I had response only from 2 of those 6 to even have an interview. And one of them canceled the day before because of already taking another part-time job somewhere. So the person I did hire was actually the only interview I conducted. And I waited about 3 weeks on that to see if anything else would come through, and nothing did. So I just want to say that the need is out there. I think we would be able to obtain some better qualified people to work with confidential and critical information for the courts if we had a full-time position. So I'm asking permission from this body to allow me to go to the Personnel Committee to ask about reclassifying that part-time position from a COMAT B to a COMAT C, which would be equal to what like probation and some of the other courts support staff classifications are, and that we in turn give back the part-time position for a full-time. I'm also asking for 3 additional officers. One, I stated on here, our caseload has gone up about 320 cases since a year ago this time, and 225 of those has just been since January 1st. So right now we only have 3 supervision officers at this point overseeing over 1,100 people and cases. And that just, in my opinion, you know, and that can't be managed well by 3 people. We want to do the best that we can to serve the community, but also help, you know, with safety and court appearance. And in order to do that, we need the personnel to be able to keep track of all the people that are on pretrial release. I also, with the other 2 additional staff, this is something that I had mentioned to you previously, that I would be asking for eventually, because it was a charge from the courts to me whenever I got this position last July. And that is to have a total, at this point, of 4 assessment officers that could be at the jail on staff 7 days a week, 365 days a year, from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. I need 4 officers to do that for shift coverage, so that we can assess everyone that comes in the jail on a criminal charge. Right now, there's times on the weekends and some holiday times where we have no personnel available to do that. So it's kind of luck of the draw if, you know, somebody on pretrial's on staff or not. If you get assessed, an option for pretrial release, or if you can just pay your money and get out, or you sit there longer because you can't afford to get out and you have to wait till the next time you have somebody on staff. So the way the judges have our local rules and the bail schedule right now, the bond schedule is that someone can be held for up to 8 hours prior to posting bond in order to give time for pretrial services to assess someone. Those assessments take from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how lengthy the history is. We do.
Director Miller, clearly you have a lot of
Too
data
much
that supports
information.
this.
Sorry.
No. You have a lot of information. I think maybe, I know that as you know, coming to us and then it's going to personnel committee, but is there any comments or questions that you guys would have of him at this time?
The only question I have, can you put your finger on any reason that you've had such a dramatic increase in cases?
Yes. So February 17th of this year, all pretrial directors and coordinators in the state were directed to a training by the Indiana Office of Court Services under the Supreme Court with new standards for pretrial departments in the state that went retroactive and effective as of January 1st, which include following and doing some case management on cases for some people that we do pretrial assessments on, but the courts don't choose to release on pretrial supervision, but order a money bond for some, whatever the reason may be. Those are additional cases that we have to track now as far as failure to appears and new arrests and do some additional follow-up on. So we've doubled our records checks every month that we have to review. So instead of being about 100, it's over 200. And many other things, but in order for us to stay certified and remain the gold standard for Indiana, we have to follow those standards. So
Okay.
that's going to continue to grow at this point.
Any other comments?
I was gonna say motion
Yeah.
to approve all positions to go be heard at personnel.
You have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for this being.
Oh, I'm sorry, vote,
Yeah.
yeah. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No, I'm not opposed. I'm gonna get Amy a fly swatter.
Why?
So she
So
can,
you can swat him whenever he gets what he's
Can't
doing.
hear
I
me.
can't hear anything out of my
Hey,
left
Sue,
ear.
you gotta take over.
oh, that's
That's
right.
We need to vote. We need to vote.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, item number G, Commissioner's Legal Department, Lee Buckingham.
Thank you, council members. First off, I want to apologize to Councilor Maslamini. I perhaps misspoke a little bit during our brief question you had of me prior to the meeting. So for 2023 at least, the proposal that we're asking for is that two new employees, Connor Sullivan and Jan Pickett, would come on board. As you had previously indicated, there is thoughts, discussions, and a proposal that the commissioners are going to have for 2024 that will involve a full-blown development of a county legal department. For now, however, we're asking that Connor Sullivan and Jan Pickett be brought under the current existing department, Director of Administration and Commissioners, so that one, we believe this will, we want to get that process started, we want to get them in, and in order to do that, we need to start the process with the HR in terms of development of their job descriptions, which will also be then utilized for the full-blown formation of the legal department if that's approved for the 2024 budget. But there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be laid and established for the full-blown formation. We would, however, like to have Connor and Janet on board for the remainder of 2023. Once we, and we're not asking for those positions here tonight, we're asking for the ability to move forward with the process of bringing them.
So they would
forward.
become county employees.
For the two, we believe that for 2023, we will be able to do it either without additional or any significant additional appropriation under the money that's currently allotted for legal
Okay.
expenses.
Any other discussion? I know that one of the items that you and I talked about is having an organizational, I mean, that's part of what they're gonna come on board is to help you build out what that looks like?
They'll be obviously involved in that, and quite frankly, they would be involved whether they come on board or not, but we think that it's appropriate that they come on board to assist and be part of that at this point in time.
I'm gonna say it's probably a good thing we had the conversation that we did, so that it could be clear then what the need was, because it was, yeah,
So moved.
thank you.
I think it's, there was discussion about the formation of a legal department. That's for full-blown for 2024, and that will be a part of our budget presentation to you during the budget.
And I would say even if it could be prior to budget, I mean, as you guys start through the planning, write a business case, a
As soon as
summary.
we have a full-blown
Okay.
proposal, I'll make it available to you.
So two people are gonna go, the idea is two people going to personnel committee, they don't actually have job descriptions currently, is that
They're
accurate?
gonna go and get them.
I don't, I'm
No,
not aware.
they're private contractors, right?
I understand, but the roles they're taking, so they're gonna go to personnel, and they're gonna have to have a job description, they're gonna be reviewed at personnel, and then come back in front of us, is that the idea?
Yeah, that's how, they'll go to personnel for review.
So today is just to start that process. My understanding was we needed to come to you first
Yep.
before we got that ball rolling.
What's your expectation when you see them coming on county payroll?
What do you mean by that?
What's your anticipated start date for them on the county?
We don't have one right now.
Okay. All right.
Obviously, the process normally is not.
Well, I think
Business
it would
world,
be
it might be a
whiz, yeah.
1 to 2 week process. County, it's probably.
So like June, basically,
We
by
need
the
to get
time you
them
get through
scored.
personnel and
Yeah.
then back to council, you ideally would be like June retroactive based on something to that effect.
I
So-
think we're looking at summer, late summer.
So, any other comments? Do I have a motion to?
Brad has already-
Brad, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, item H, ordinance CC 04052023-A, an ordinance amending the personnel policy and employee handbook for employees of Hamilton County, Indiana. Do I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. All those in, oh, I'm sorry.
Motion to suspend the rules and adopt on first reading. Sorry, I
Second.
apologize on that.
You have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, sorry.
My bad.
All those in favor?
Rob.
Any discussion?
No.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, now a motion to, now that we've suspended the motion, suspended the rules, now we have the motion to approve.
Approved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? That was the motion to suspend the rules. That was approved. Now we have the motion to approve it, or act on it. Does that
And
understand?
did, so moved, we got
We have
a
a motion and
motion.
a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Okay, and with that, we're going to open up the public hearing. All right, Fund 1,101 requesting 392,500 of an available appropriation of 40,999,193. Commissioners, item number 1, additional 30,000 liability insurance.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm a nay.
Okay.
It was just an advertisement purpose, correct? You knew that?
Yep, I do.
Yep.
Good. Just making
All right, additional, item B, additional 362,500 reappropriation. This is, I believe, for the Bridge of Flowers. Judge Nation,
This was the one that the
do we have a motion to
invoice
approve?
did not, oh, yes, motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It's the invoice, we approved this last year. The invoice did not come in, so they're asking it to be reappropriated.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'm
Nay.
opposed.
I'm opposed.
That's 2, okay. All right. All right, item B, prosecutor.
I make a motion to combine these two, 1 and 2.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Same motion again for this one. Can we combine 1, 2, and 3?
Motion to approve item B 1 and 2.
Second.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
All right. Now for C, if we could combine 1 through 3.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Motion to approve item C 1 through 3.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Same motion for
Fund
D.
1138, Community Capital Development, you want to combine?
Yep, combine 1 and 2, please.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
Motion to approve.
Second.
all right. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, Fund 1169, Local Roads and Street requesting appropriation of 21,000. Mark, I think you're listed as the...
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay,
What are you gonna spend the 21,000 on, Mark?
I gotta find the paper. I think it's signage.
Okay.
Yep, it is. It's
Okay.
signage.
any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Fund 1171, Bridge, Major Bridge Fund Transfer of $1,720,221.39. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All right, as I understand, this is a bond payment.
And then next year it'll be appropriated in the
And
correct
next-
funds.
So, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, next item, Fund 1176, requesting appropriation of $700,000. There's two items on the additional $200,000 for the Oleo Corridor Study.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
We had discussion in the joint session regarding the need for this. The amount may be less, more like $160,000, but this then allows them at least up to $200,000 to conduct this study.
Fishers isn't gonna contribute anything.
It's ours, that's specific, because it's all the way down, correct, 96
It's
up
our
to,
road.
it's our road.
All right, any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item 2, $500,000 for 134th and Oleo Road Roundabout.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right,
I did provide additional information, so you did have kind of the detail of where the discussion started, and then there was also confirmation from Hy-Vee as the developer that basically it is a $500,000 contribution from Fishers, $500,000 max contribution from the county, and then they would be responsible then for the additional costs, which was listed roughly around 2.5. That may change, but again, our impact is $500,000 to contribute to this roundabout.
my understanding is that we won't be paying any of this until there's a signed agreement.
Correct. Motion would then be to ensure, my motion, let me modify to say $500,000 appropriated pending agreement between the developer and the commissioners.
Capped.
Captain,
Right.
yeah.
Anyone, who was second on that? Is you okay with that, Mark?
As long as it's capped.
Okay, I didn't know.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Fund 1222, Public Safety Communications, we have a 144 amendment.
So moved.
Second.
All right, is, any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh. All right, seeing none, moving on. Fund 4818, Go Bond Series 2022B, transfer of $700.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Fund 4819, County Bridge Improvement Bonds 2023 appropriation. $30,290,979.65. Brad, you have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to spend $30 million.
Do I have a second? Brad, your name's always on these expensive ones. Just wanted to say that.
Favorite.
Any discussion? This is obviously for the major bridge bonds and appropriating those dollars. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Fund 4918, Youth Assistance Program, requesting additional $22,548.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, we are now the grants.
Mr. President, I would make a motion that we combine all 7 grant.
I'll second that.
So L1 through L7 and all subcategories?
Reductions, transfers included.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Motion to approve grants 1 through 7 encompassing all.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and with that, I'll close the public hearing. And then to announcements. Sheriff,
I have none, thank you.
Council Attorney, Madam Auditor. Okay, with that, I will adjourn.